Yo, Seemlytuber back at it again with another video. And the situation that happened on Sunday is the exact reason why I just don't like hearing information from some leakers and some people that say they have sources and friends that work in the gaming industry. Because this guy obviously didn't know the situation of why they couldn't get said game working at 1080p 60 frames per second. Forgot that the gameplay trailer was running at 4K 30. Said they can't even get it now to run at 1080p 60, but they had it running at 4K 30 like, wasn't it a month or two ago? And then said the build was from like the start of the year, from when they switched from a PS4 Pro title to a just a next gen title. And yo, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you hit that like button, you comment, subscribe, get them likes up. I would appreciate it very dearly. And yeah, we're gonna talk about this Dust Golem situation. The guy that has insiders and everyone agrees with 100% on whatever he says, even though he made himself look like a clown on Sunday. And I don't fault anyone but his own self for that. Because if you're gonna say you have insiders and you're gonna say you have information, you stick to your information. You don't back down from what you say. This man did triple double backflips to justify his claims and then said he was just guessing. And then also went on to say, I'm guessing it'll be upscaled to 4K. And so if it's already running at 4K 30, your friend that works at Capcom or whatever, your acquaintance, your insider that works at Capcom says that it's running at 10, it can't even run at 1080p 60, but it's running fine on PC and Xbox. Okay, so you're going to tell me Sony picked a title that can't even run properly on its system yet, but it was chosen to be shown off at their showcase. And you're going to tell me that they can't even get it running on their system. More importantly, that sounds like a dev problem. That sounds like the PS5 is so fundamentally different than a PC that's currently on the market and the Series X that it takes some actual thought and work to even utilize everything out of the system. And it's kind of baffling because even if you didn't want to utilize all of the SSD power, how are you not able to get it at 1080p 60, even if you were just using it based off of the PS4 Pro specs and just using the extra power to utilize more of that? So how are you not able to get that working? That's going as far as saying that Dust Golem knows what he's talking about, because he just blew his credibility because he backed down and pretty much said he was guessing on all of this information. So I don't know what to believe, honestly. Like, is running perfectly fine with a two teraflop difference. Is running perfectly fine on the Xbox Series X. That's it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, dude, there's a talented team of devs over there at Capcom. So do they just not know what they're doing with this game? Like, what is the situation that's going on with this? It's confusing. I'm inclined to believe that he got called out he even got called out by another person at work that's a dev and was like, this happens all the time. And it speaks more to developers kind of not knowing what they're doing yet. Or one line of code can totally make something not work and not even boot up on a system if they put in the wrong line of code. So the fact that he would go out here and say something along these lines kind of speaks to maybe he just wanted to stir up some trouble. Because if you're a leaker and you have a source, maybe your source would have told you that, we've had these issues before. Like one line of code can end up doing this, and it kind of happens all the time. It's no big deal. But you would run to make sure, oh yeah, I've been away for a little bit and I just wanted to step in. I just want to drop this information that Xbox is running better. Yeah, it's more powerful. Yeah, we knew that from the spec sheet, and they can't even get it working on the PS5. Okay. But all these other games are running at 60 frames per second. Already confirmed with 4K. I'm inclined to believe this was just something to stir up some trouble, and then when it brought him too much heat, he wanted to run and be a crybaby and talk about, I'll keep it to myself next time on Twitter, talking about reminder to yourself, I'll keep it to myself next time. I just get called out, and it just hurts my feelings. Okay, you knew that was going to happen when you said some information, but you didn't clarify. And then when people ask you to clarify, you backtrack. You 360, and then you do another total 180 once you get on Twitter, talking about it's going to be 4K, 60. So what are you talking about? What is the correct information? Well, I don't understand. How can you triple double backflip and then 180? Like, no one's gonna call you out when your information doesn't match up with what you said earlier. So were you just trying to stir up some trouble? Yeah, we know you've been right on some things with Resident Evil before, but what is going on with this? Like, why are you backtracking on this? And you want to talk about when I'm proven right later on? People always say someone else said the information. No, Dust Golem, you backtracked yourself on this. You backtracked. So how are we supposed to believe now that Resident Evil, they're having some issues over there at Capcom with this game, if you're backtracking and saying, oh, that was from months ago and it's running at 4K now. So why did you even say anything? It's just one game that's having that problem. So it was just that one game, and you make an emphasis to come out and say this information, and knowing it was months ago, and you left all these tidbits of information out in the first post you made. No one needs you fanboying up for Xbox. Like, honestly, let the games speak for themselves. We don't need you fanboying up, because it seems like a real fanboy tactic. And then now tried to cry and play the victim because everybody kind of looked at you like you were crazy because it didn't make any sense. If it's running at 4K 30 at the event on the PS5, how is it not running at how can it not run at 1080p 60? So you're blowing hot air right now. That's basically what's going on. You're blowing some real hot air, sounding full of it. But he gave the Xbox the information they needed for the first couple of he gave them something to run with for a little bit, which this is not even that big of a deal because we already knew the power differential. But no one cares. As I've said on Twitter, no one cares. If you want to go pay your little $10, $15 a month on Xbox and get your 250 old games for the next 2 to 3 years that you're going to be playing because you're not getting anything new except for Halo, maybe, then go ahead, be my guest. I'll buy what I want. You're not going to tell me that the system I'm getting is inferior and that I shouldn't buy it and that I'm uninformed because you don't like it. It's a free world, man. Everybody that's got some common sense will know that paying $400, $500 for a console to play my old games for the next 2 to 3 years is not worth an investment right now. It's better to get the PlayStation. You're getting games at launch. What are you getting at launch for the Xbox? Halo? Maybe. And I'll go into that on another video. But yeah, there's no announcement date for any of those other games. They're still in early development. PlayStation already has two in the chamber. Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man, 2 in the chamber already. Got Godfall. There's plenty ready. But yo, I'm gonna head out on this one. Seemlytuber out, correcting uninformed insiders. Oh yeah, I'm an insider now since everybody could claim they're insider and then backtrack on their word. Seemlytuber insider misinformed out. Peace.